In Wave 2 of Hills and Faces, Zombie Sailor and Ron Rudant didn't just give us one of the biggest people to ever wrestle, but one of the biggest names to ever wrestle. A man who transcended the wrestling pop culture and became a true part of zeitgeist, a true part of 80s and 90s history and culture, that of course being Andre. From Hills and Faces Series 2, this is Andre the Giant. You'll notice it's very specifically blue strap Andre. They did a blue strap and a black strap. I got the black strap through Hasbro, so I figured if I'm going to get a second Andre, I'd like a second attire. Speaking of, right here is my Hasbro Andre. A little bit worse for wear, but hey, he's mine. Thing is, there's a part of me that doesn't like it when the Hasbro sequel series do wrestlers we already got. At the same time, Zombie Sailor isn't trying to recreate Hasbro's. They're trying to do their own spin on it, a lot more realistic, different scale. So, in that way, I can respect the fact that he wants to go back and do an Andre that fits better for his toy line. I get it, and I do want to see, one, just how this Andre feels, and then, how does he compare to his kind of progenitor here? Getting this Andre out of the way, though, I love this picture they have of him on the box. And then you flip it around, you have the Ron Rudant blueprints here, and then some fun facts about Andre. So let's see here. Andre the Giant is a pop culture icon recognized all over the globe. Yes, the eighth wonder of the world competed in many historic matches that changed the foundations of professional wrestling. Oh, absolutely. I mean, that match with Hogan at WrestleMania 3, that's still like the match, I guess. Andre was always the marquee attraction in whichever promotion he performed for. Absolutely. So, now that we get all that, let's actually open up the box. Getting Andre out, and my first thought is this is one weighty hunk of plastic. It actually does have a good bit of heft in the hand. Nothing that's going to bash in someone's skull, but a good bit heavier than a lot of figures you'd expect. And just looking at this Andre, the head sculpt is just incredible. In keeping with Zombie Sailor toy style, not exactly lifelike, but very close, a lot closer than Hasbro's used to get. And then you have proportions of the body, still cartoony, but definitely closer to the real Andre than the Hasbro was. You have a swivel at the head, a swivel up here at the arm, you have a wrist articulation, and then you have a swivel at the waist. All of that works very, 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 very well for your blue strap Andre. For anyone who's curious about this attire, this is what he wore post-WrestleMania 3, probably closer to WrestleMania 7. It was kind of the last stage of his career he started wearing the blue strap, which is another reason as to why I got this one over the black strap, because I wanted variety, especially because he is so much different from normal Andre. So, it's weird. I honestly thought this Andre was going to be a lot taller, and he is slightly taller, right? He's slightly taller than Hasbro Andre. But he feels so much more weighty and so much more, I don't know, full than Hasbro Andre. And I think that's just because this Andre is so much wider and he retains his width throughout the entire body, whereas this Andre kind of shrinks closer to the waist. But of course, the original Hasbro Andre has the gimmick. No gimmick here, that's not how Zombie Sailor Toys rolls. But there are a few other people I want to compare him to. I'm always a big stickler for this. I always say that I think that Giant Gonzalez should always be the tallest Hasbro-style figure ever. But, at long last, there's a figure that's just ever so slightly taller. Andre is taller than Giant Gonzalez. I honestly thought I'd be more upset about that, but truth be told, again, Zombie Sailor has found their own style for these figures to the point where I feel like I'm fine saying that this is still the tallest Hasbro. This is the tallest Hasbro-inspired figure, sure, but these two are so radically different, they're not the same collection. Vintage, inspired by, and that's perfectly fine. And of course, what would Andre the Giant be without Hulk Hogan, perhaps the most famous opponent he ever had at WrestleMania 3? And with the vintage Hogan, they don't really work together. It's fine. But again, like I said, Zombie Sailor toys, their figures are spectacular and I love them. But this is not meant to mesh with that. And I accept that. If I want something that meshes with that, I should get Hastel. These guys get to be a league all their own because they're spectacular. But there is another Hogan I have that might work just a touch better than good old version 3 here. Weirdly enough, he actually does kind of work with the retro Hogan, like the NWO Hogan. Now, don't get me wrong, this is way more cartoony than this, but it's closer, and because the sunglasses, I don't really see that much difference in the face. We'll have to see when we get another Retro Hogan with that WrestleMania 1 set coming out, but if you wanted, just absolutely needed a Hogan to go with this Andre, he is an option. Finally, here's Andre, not just with a fellow Zombie Sailor toy figure, but a fellow territory wrestler with Bruiser Brody. These two look so good together, my word. And because I can, here they are with Bastion Booger. Bastion Booger absolutely dwarfed by them. You know, it's funny, I always thought he was a tall guy, but looking back on it, Mike Shaw wasn't that tall. And then we can toss in Jeff Jarrett. And it's like, of course they don't work in terms of costumes because new gen, hardcore, territory attires. But the figures look so good together, man. Zombie Sailor just knocking it out of the park every time. I'll be honest, I was really hesitant to get this Andre. I saw it as kind of a betrayal of the original Hasbro line to get someone they already did, but this Andre more than proves that it can stand on its own. And if I were to do a top 10 Andre the Giant figures right now, I think he'd probably come out above the Hasbro even. He's a wonderful little figure.